Hello friends, let's discuss current affairs. We'll take off from where we left in the previous session. I had mentioned that I would discuss subsidy in this session. We're going to look at subsidy in a very comprehensive way. We'll look at a few definitions and then of course use the data to take it forward. Here's the first question. Now this is the question that has been reproduced from the previous session. So I hope you understand what where we are going. So this is a question that this is on fertilizer subsidy. I don't have to read it again for you, but I'm going to tell you about what subsidy and what's the level of subsidy the government gives, the types of subsidies, and of course we'll look at some basic definitions. Okay, to start with, what subsidy? So please write. What is subsidy? First point, also called under recovery. Under recovery, also called under recovery. Under recovery. Okay. Next, second point. Usually defined as the difference between a high cost price and a low sale price, low sale price. Usually defined as the difference between high cost price and a low sale price. Next point. The Government of India provides various kinds of subsidies. Dash, like food subsidy, FOOD, food subsidy, fertilizer subsidy, fuel subsidy, FUEL, fuel subsidy, healthcare subsidy, and education subsidy, full stop. We are now going to look at what was the subsidy amount last year, and before that what is it, what exactly subsidy. Like in the previous example previous session, let me repeat that so that it stays in your mind. I'm sure that most of you are familiar with this discussion, but I'm going to bring in a bit of data. Okay, and it is always important to listen to the other side. Okay, now that you know what you read, you will listen to what I have to share with you. So let's say I'm this poor guy. My name is Bharat C. Jain. So your teacher Bharat walks into your stationery store, a large departmental stationery store, and I walk in to buy, let's say, a pen. The pen costs 25 rupees. Okay, this is the cost price. The sale price is, let's say, 35 rupees. You bought it at 25 rupees, you would sell it 35 rupees. You bought it at 25 rupees, you sell it 35 rupees. Now I walk in, you look at me and you realize that I'm your old teacher, okay, and you say that this guy Bharat is poor chap, so let's not sell at 35, let me sell at what I would normally get. 25 is my cost price, let me sell at 20. So usual sale price is 25. Okay, you sold to me at 20 rupees. You see the difference of 5 rupees here. The difference of 5 rupees would usually be called by you as a loss. You would treat it as a loss, whereas in my case I get a discount. I would look at it as a discount from you. You would call it a loss. The government would call it subsidy. If in your place it were the government we would have called it subsidy. It's a very simple way of looking at it. So the sale price is lower than the cost price. The cost price being 25, the sale price being 20, it's different. Okay. Now we'll take it forward and we'll look at three major kinds of subsidies: food, fuel, and fertilizer. Okay. And how much money does the government of India spend on these? I wouldn't say lose or make a loss, but I'm talking of how much does it, what's the cost of subsidies to the government of India. Now, before we go even go further, I would also love to tell you that the government of India provides subsidies, let's say in railways, apart from what you already, what's there on your screen, the government of India provides subsidies on all these things. Just a second, let me clear all this stuff. Yeah. So when we are looking at something like railway subsidy, in India we have 14,000 trains, over 14,000 trains. Okay, and almost none of this, maybe you would say about 5 to 6 trains make a profit. 5 to 6 trains make a profit. It is believed that none makes a profit, but yes, there are some trains like the privately run Tejas Express. Tejas Express makes a profit. Shatabdi Express that runs between Bhopal and Delhi makes a profit. There are some trains that make a profit, but not all. Most of the trains don't make a profit. Each ticket the government of India sells, each ticket, usually, it is sold at a 43% subsidy. So if the government of India would charge you, let's say, whatever the amount, let's say it charges you X amount, 43%, it would be lower by 43% than the actual price. Yes. So if it normally would cost the government of India to transport you from one place to another place, let's say it costs 100 rupees, the government of India would collect 57 rupees from you. So the 43 rupees is the loss, subsidy. This is primarily done to make life comfortable, affordable. That's how it is. See, in India, very few people make money. It is a hardcore truth. It is a truth that needs our understanding, because we refuse to believe that there could be so few rich people in India. You look around, you find people have cars, people have homes, people have this and that, but most of this is debt, udhar. Okay, and we should not count that as wealth. Please understand. So let's look at railways now. 43% subsidy. There are trains like the Rajdhani Express from Dibrugarh to New Delhi. Dibrugarh is in northeast Assam. From that place, the train starts, Rajdhani Express. And remember, all Rajdhani Expresses connect with Delhi. So it could be a Rajdhani from Trivandrum, Tirunelveli, or from Bombay. It would always connect, with New Delhi, because it's Rajdhani of India, capital of India. Now, every time the Dibrugarh Rajdhani starts from there and reaches Delhi, it makes a loss of about 14 lakh rupees, because everything is undercharged. It is believed that the only two classes that make a profit for the government of India, only two classes that make a profit for the Indian Railways are AC 3-tier, okay, and AC chair car. 3 AC tier and AC chair car. Now when we say 3 AC tier, it's pronounced tier. Tier means level. So there are 3 berths, one lower, middle, then upper. That's what's called tier. Tier means level. In 2 AC you have 2 berths. That's why it's called 2 AC, 2 tier. Okay. So there are only 2 categories where the profit is made. Okay, it's 3 tier and chair car. I have read the data and I can tell you this is from the government of India itself. It's not my data. So the government of India loses a lot of money. But in this case, what they do is they charge more on freight, transporting goods, and charge less on, passenger fares. This is always called cross subsidy. They charge more on product A and less on product B. So profits from product A compensate the loss from product B. That's called cross subsidy. Okay. Now, let me take you further on this. You would find this everywhere. I mean, subsidy is a part of life, normal part of life. Okay. You look at IIT education, healthcare. Forget about government schools in villages. You ignore university education. Okay. You look at the top IIT education. I mean, every Indian parent aspires that their child goes to an IIT to study engineering or that kind of stuff. So almost every parent. Okay. How much does IITs cost the government of India? To give you a simple figure, the government of India spends about 4.4 lakh rupees per annum on an IIT student. 4.4 lakh student, per annum, and collects pretty little by way of fee from that student. So it would cost the government of India about 20 lakh rupees to make a student, to make a graduate engineer from IIT. Whereas the fee collected would be less than 5 lakh rupees. You got it? I'm taking an average number. So government of India loses a lot of money on this. So I'm not going to talk about the more important stuff. Look at this. You see the numbers here. Okay? But before that, I would want you to write definition of food subsidy. Please write food subsidy. What is food subsidy? So what we have taken are the simple general definitions of subsidy, but now we are going to talk about specific stuff. Okay, we are going to discuss specific stuff. Right, food subsidy. Underline that. I'm not going to focus on the grammar part. Okay, we are going to discuss the fact part. Right. Difference between economic cost. Difference between economic cost of food grains, economic cost of food grains procured by the central government, and their sales realization. Now you write sale price in bracket. So we have written the technical stuff, sales realization. Now write this. Difference between the economic cost of procurement of food grains, or difference between the economic cost of food grains procured by the central government and their sales realization at the PDS rate. PDS, Public Distribution System rate. Public Distribution System. You take the full form, please. Public Distribution System rate, PDS rate, called the central issue price, called the central issue price, and the sales realization at PDS rate called the central issue price. Okay, full stop. So this is what food subsidy is. Okay, below that leave one line space, right? Okay, those of you who didn't get this, I'll explain, but before that, let's repeat the definition. Difference between food subsidy, difference between the economic cost of food grains procured by the central government and their sales realization at the PDS rate. We mentioned what is PDS, public distribution rate, called the central issue price. Full stop. Okay. Now, leave one line space, write fertilizer subsidy. Fertilizer subsidy. Fertilizer subsidy. Write the definition. Central government fixes the MRP of urea sold in the market. MRP of urea sold in the market. Okay, full stop. The difference between the selling price and production cost is provided as subsidy. Full stop. Let me repeat. Government fixes the MRP of urea sold in the market. Okay, full stop. The difference between the between the cost of production or between the difference between the selling price and production cost is provided as subsidy. That's it. Okay. Now I'm going to take you to some data, and this will give you the the scale of subsidy in India. You see this now. You see these numbers here. This is from the budget, this year. This is directly from the budget this year. Please know that this is not my data. This is something that I have collected from the budget document. Okay, I've just selected the numbers and everything else. These are the three major kinds of subsidies you mentioned: fertilizer, food, and fuel. Okay, fuel includes, typically this year it will be only petrol, and normally this is petrol plus kerosene. Sorry, this includes LPG, and this is LPG plus kerosene. Okay, I'll come to that. So what exactly is, see, in last year budget on Feb 1st 2020, the Finance Minister of India, not this year, the previous year, okay, the Finance Minister of India presented the budget. In that budget, and we are talking of pre-COVID times, pre-lockdown, pre-COVID times, she said we are going to give a subsidy of about 2.27 lakh crore rupees. I'm taking round figures, okay, and this is about 2.27 lakh crore rupees in subsidy. Remember, this is all in rupees crore. You can see this. Okay, it is not thousands, rupees crore. So we are going to give a subsidy of we'll take a round figure of 2.3 lakh crore. 2.3 lakh crore. LC is lakh crore. No one had anticipated the COVID pandemic, the scale of the pandemic, the scale of loss of employment, the length of the lockdown, and which prompted a lot of people to move from urban areas to back to their places, rural areas, to their villages, which meant that people lost a lot of jobs, they lost their incomes, they lost their purchasing power, and they now had no source of income. Yes, so the government had to take care of them. Obviously, the government has to take care of them. So you look at the food subsidy first. Initial target was to provide 1.15 lakh crore rupees, for food subsidy. But the government of India gave free food grains for a longer duration, free and additional, not just free but also additional food grains to poor households, to migrant labor for a longer period. Between April and November, the government gave, food grains at subsidized rates to about 80 crore beneficiaries. 80 crore beneficiaries. So that pushed up the cost of food subsidy. Take this, They had initially wanted to spend about 1.515 lakh crore rupees, but they ended up spending 4.23 lakh crore rupees. So this is how additional money went. You can say that if 3 lakh crore rupees was the additional cost of subsidy, means simply put, loss. So the government of India had to bridge this gap. Where is the paisa? There is no paisa. Lockdown meant industrial production, corporate tax, people, lower incomes, and at the same time that, people had, say, income tax collection. Some people lost jobs, so there will be a dip in, tax collection on income tax and corporate tax. Now, people stopped spending. A lot of companies stopped producing because there was no demand and effective lockdown, which meant that there was no GST collection also. You got the idea? So the government of India lost all the kinds of things that we had planned. So you look at this now. So initial plan was 1.15, spent about 4.23. So massive loss of 3 lakh crore rupees. Now you may wonder, how does the government of India get this food grain, isn't it? See, today I am going to spend a little more time than usual on a topic like this, okay? Because this is a very important topic. So the government of India buys rice and wheat from farmers directly. Of course, farmers are free to sell them to, markets also, market traders. But typically in states like Punjab, Haryana and all that, a lot of food grain is sold direct to the government. So government buys from the farmer, stores in the godowns of FCI, Food Corporation of India. Then it transports that food grain to, PDS stores, public distribution stores. These are called fair price shops. And the rate at which this is sold is the central issue price. So let me repeat. The government buys from the farmer at minimum support price, MSP. That food grain is transported to FCI godowns, where it is stored. At the right time, it is sent to fair price shops, ration dukan, through public distribution system. This network is called public distribution system. In the public distribution system stores, this is sold to people who are intended beneficiaries. Okay. Now, the total cost of production of 1 kg of wheat. See, from the time the government buys from the farmer to the time it is sold, the government of India, the total procurement, storage, acquisition, all transportation cost is, in the case of wheat, and I am giving you government of India figures, okay, 27 rupees per kilo. You can find this data on the FCI website, Food Corporation of India website. This is not my data. In the case of rice, the entire cost is 37 rupees per kilo, per kg. But at what price is it sold? And remember this, 27 kgs include acquisition cost, the MRP, MSP, transportation cost, storage cost, labor cost, everything else. So the government of India sells wheat typically at 2 rupees and rice at 3 rupees. Take just some numbers. Even in some states it's lower than that. So what is procured at 27 rupees is sold at 2 rupees. So a loss of 25 rupees per kilo. What is procured at 37 rupees is sold at 3 rupees. A loss of 34 rupees per kilo. Now think of the millions of kilos the government of India sells through PDS, stores. This is the scale of, subsidy in food. Okay. So there's a lot we need to know. If you look at fertilizer subsidy, I told you what is this. I gave you a definition of how the government, it's a typical subsidy. Fertilizer is usually sold through cooperative stores, fertilizer cooperative stores like IFFCO and all that, owned by IFFCO and all, and then private companies. So the private company's cost is 100 rupees. The government tells this guy, see, there is this guy, Bharat farmer, who would come to your store you sell at, you know, 60 rupees, you sell at 60 rupees, we will give you the difference of 40 rupees. The actual sale price is 40 rupees, 100 rupees. You sell at 60 to Bharat, we will pay the difference of 40. So the government directly gives a subsidy to the fertilizer company. So this is how fertilizer subsidy goes. Look at that. What was the budgeted last year in last year's budget? 71,000 crore. What they ended up spending? 1.34 lakh crore rupees. More than almost double. So things are pretty bad out there, my friends. Oh, very bad. Okay. So I just wanted to tell you a few things about this. But if you would look at something more, this year's budget numbers, you see the last one. Okay. You see that fuel subsidy, and fuel subsidy includes subsidy. This one includes LPG, liquefied petroleum gas cylinders. Okay, the subsidy on that, plus kerosene. Usually kerosene is sold through PDS stores unless it's for commercial use. Okay, industrial use is different. We are talking of domestic use. LPG cylinders are of two types, domestic and commercial. Domestic, the government of India gives a subsidy. Commercial, no subsidy. Normally, when the gas cylinder arrives at home, we are asked to pay a certain amount. Let's say the government would say, okay, Bharat, you pay 500 rupees. The cost price could be something like, 650 rupees. So the subsidy is 150 rupees. The sale price, my cost of purchase is 500 rupees. The government sells to me at 500 rupees. Buys that same cylinder, would have bought that same cylinder at 650 rupees. So a loss of 150 rupees. I'm giving an example. Look at the number of gas connections, about 16 crore gas connections into the number of cylinders. That's how it works. Okay? And it is not, remember that, it is not that the government of India gives subsidy to everyone. Commercial cylinders, there is no subsidy. So if the cost price is 650, commercial cylinder is usually sold at 1200 rupees. This is cross subsidy. Okay? Now one more thing. The government of India a few years back launched a scheme called Pahal. So you take the initiative, the government side, to give up subsidy. You don't want subsidy, you give up subsidy. All you have to do is to go to the gas agency, fill in a form that I don't want subsidy. You pay the entire price, the actual price, 650 rupees you pay. So I filled in that form and I don't get subsidy. But the government of India says the money thus saved can help others, especially beneficiaries of Ujjwala scheme. Beneficiaries of Ujjwala scheme. Under this scheme, about 9 crore women get gas cylinders free of cost. 9 crore households get, gas cylinders free of cost. So this subsidy that I am giving up is going to fund that scheme. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? You know how many households have given up subsidy? 1 crore households. It's a very good thing. See, till the government took initiative, no one thought that they could contribute this way also. So when the government launched this initiative, people thought that, look, I can afford to pay 650 rupees. So let me give up subsidy. So people gave up subsidy, which is a very good thing on the part of people. So then kerosene is sold through ration shops to people in the lower classes because they use it as a fuel and everything. Historically, kerosene has been highly subsidized, but of late the government of India has gone about raising the price of kerosene to international levels, and till last financial year there was some subsidy on kerosene. From the current financial year, in the current financial year, इस साल जो है, इस वित्तीय वर्ष में, there is no subsidy on that 13,000 crore rupees. You see the last figure here, 12,995 crore. So in this round figure of 13,000 crore rupees, there is no subsidy for kerosene. It's a subsidy only on LPG. So the government of India is going to lose 13,000 crore rupees on LPG subsidy. It's coming down. slowly they are raising the prices. The amount of subsidy is also going down. Things are bad. The government needs money. Government needs money, my friends. बिल्कुल पैसा नहीं है सरकार के पास. Okay, so this is a little about subsidies. I just wanted to tell you. I hope you learned a few good things today. Okay, I mean there's subsidy everywhere. हर जगह subsidy. See, a few 100 meters from where I am seated, I'm in Hyderabad. There is a hospital here called Gandhi Hospital. It's a government hospital. It's the biggest hospital, government hospital in Telangana state. Everything is subsidized. Just like it is in your state, government hospitals are subsidized. This is also subsidized. Primary healthcare subsidized. If you look at cost of vaccination, in the budget this year, they said, we will incur a cost of 35,000 crore rupees towards vaccination, because the government is giving a lot of vaccines free. Those who can afford to spend, they are going to private companies, private hospitals and everything. But the government gives you a choice. On the COVID app, there is a choice, free, paid. Okay. So if you choose paid, you go to some hospital which may charge you the relevant amount. But if you choose free, you can walk into some government hospital, everything, and it's done free of charge, which is okay. But if you can afford, why not pay? How much would it cost? Okay. It's always important that we contribute to nation building, because the money you pay will lower the subsidies of the government, which also means that the money saved will go on to spending on important things, more important things, the poor, disadvantaged people. A lot of people are not as lucky as we are. I hope you got this. Okay. See, I'm a data junkie. I love data. So I interpret data and, bring in all this stuff. So I hope you use this well. Okay. Usual stuff now. Mount Nyiragongo, one of the world's most active volcanoes, recently erupted for the first time in nearly 2 decades. This is in, you see that place? DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. See, the funny thing is, if you look at this, country here, within the country the name is not given, but the name is given at the top. The Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay. So, I want you to write about this particular volcano. Please write 2-3 things, and then we will discuss the countries. Please write. Niara or Naira, both are right pronunciations. Okay. Nyiragongo, underline that. First point. Located in Virunga Mountain Range. Virunga Mountain Range. Next, height. You write like this, okay? Star marks for everything. Height 3470 meters. 3470 meters. Next, crater. This is a crater. You see this from the top, when there is a hole inside the mountain. From the top, this is the top of the mountain. Okay, this is called the crater. You see this area? This is called the crater. Okay, basically, it's like this is a glass, and there is this surface, up to, let's say, till here. There is there is a hole. This upper region will be called crater. It's an opening. Typically, it's it's like it's a dip, hollow shape. So right, crater is about 2 kilometers wide. Crater is about 2 kilometers wide. So it's a very wide mountain. 2 kilometers wide. Last point. Crater has lava lake. Crater has lava lake. This is the lava lake. You see this lava? This is a lake. Crater has lava lake at about 600 meter, which is about 600 meters deep. Which is about 600 meters deep. It's a lot of lava. Okay, so it's just exploded recently, erupted recently, and it is pretty close to the city called Goma. Okay, this is one of the biggest cities in the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the entire town has been evacuated because the lava has been flowing into the town. It has gone to the airport. It has overrun the runway and everything else. So it's killed about 68 people. These are all round figures. They're all random numbers. So you can take 100 people die, because generally things are underreported in this part of the world. Not just in this part of the world, everywhere, even in India. Yeah. If you look at this country, DRC, and this is one country that I have followed since I was about 13 years old. Yeah, that's close to about very long year, more than 30 years. In those days it was called Zaire. This country was called Zaire. Now it's called DRC. There is another country called Republic of the Congo, which is also called Congo. यहाँ पे एक राजधानी है यहाँ पे. Okay, the राजधानी is called Brazzaville. This country is called Congo Brazzaville. The funny thing is, there is this river here called, you see this river is the Congo. This river is the boundary line. Congo is the boundary line. Okay, this river Congo, it flows here on let's say on the south side from where we are, is the capital of DRC, Kinshasa. On the northern side, the capital is the capital of the Republic of the Congo is there, Brazzaville. So on one bank the capital of country A, on the other bank the capital of country B. Look it up on Google Earth, you will find what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I do. I go to all these countries through Google Earth. We can't travel like that. So I would want you to write about DRC, one of the most dangerous places on earth, extremely dangerous, especially this part. Extremely dangerous region. Yeah, and this is the most dangerous region, eastern part of the country. There's a war happening here. It is not Sudan, it should be South Sudan. Okay, map is wrong. This is from the United States Geographical Society, Geological Society. But anyway, right. DRC. Capital, you write this. This is the capital. Kinshasa. President. Next point. For each bit of information, use these kinds of symbols. You can put a bullet, you can put a dash symbol like bullet, a star mark like this. Felix Tshisekedi. Felix Tshisekedi. This is the most populous French-speaking country in the world. Yes, bigger than France, more populous than France. Biggest French-speaking country in the world. Okay. Last one, currency franc. Congolese franc, DRC franc. See this, you will find roads only here. Most of the places, interior, there are no roads. There are no major highways. The roads were built ages back. Extremely dangerous place. From there, you want to know about Nigeria. Cameroon के पास में Nigeria. Nigeria, you know this capital is Abuja. President is Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari. Currency is Naira. Currency is Naira. Next, Algeria. It's in North Africa. Algeria. Its capital is Algiers. President is Abdel Majid Tebboune. Abdel Majid Tebboune. The currency is dinar. What is it? Dinar. Algerian dinar. You could write one extra fact. Biggest country in Africa by area. Biggest African country by area. Okay, I think we have discussed all these countries, but Kenya has been a very regular country in our thing. So let's go to Botswana. Botswana इसके नीचे, जाम्बिया के नीचे है. Okay, जाम्बिया के नीचे. Capital is Gaborone. This is the capital. President is Mokwitsi Masisi. Okay. And the currency is Pula. Pula, P-U-L-A. Okay. Who has become the oldest golf major winner to clinch the 103rd Professional Golf Association Championship? Okay. Phil Mickelson. You could write this. Held at venue Kiowa Island, South Carolina State, United States. Kiowa West Island, South Carolina State, United States. He won this, and this is considered the, one of the most, it's a top 2 golf tournaments. Okay. Phil Mickelson was 50 years old, 50 years, 11 months, say 50 years at the time of his winning. So he became the oldest champion of any major golf event. Okay. Yeah. This guy finished second and this guy finished third in the same championship. This is very little to discuss here. Venue could be important from the exam point of view. Cyclone Yas, which hit Odisha and the West Bengal coast, got its name from Oman. Okay, Oman. See, the funny thing is, this is where Yas hit. Yas came from where? This is where Oman is. Okay, this is Oman. This is cyclone, Yas. This is, this was hit by Tokte. The K is silent. Tokte. Okay. This was the name given by Myanmar. And Myanmar is here. Let me wonder, how do these names come? There is a list and everything, but I'll give you some dope on this. Please write this. Cyclones over North Indian Ocean. Cyclones over North Indian Oceans. Okay, underline that. First point. Named by the eight members of regional specialized, you know that I write a Z instead of an S, regional specialized meteorological आना चाहिए ना, हाँ, center for tropical cyclones over North Indian Oceans. Named by the 8 members of the Regional Specialized Meteorological Center for Tropical Cyclones over North Indian Ocean, comma, located at New Delhi. So this RSMC is located at New Delhi. Next, the 8 members are Oman, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, fifth one, Myanmar, sixth one, Thailand, seventh, Sri Lanka, this is 7, 8, there is a country here called Maldives, okay, this country, 8 Maldives, got it, got all. See, one map can help now. So I always loved maps. You know that whenever I get a chance, I put a map. Yeah. See, this map helps you. For example, this map. We now know where is it located, the volcano and everything. It's good to know. You don't have to remember everything. But when you read, when you learn something, you become familiar. Oh, like this. Acha, like that. Okay. And that's important. हर चीज़ ज़रूरी नहीं है कि हमें याद रहे और ये भी ज़रूरी नहीं कि समझ में आए. You don't have to understand everything, you don't have to remember everything, but becoming familiar is a good thing. Okay? Yeah. So, Sushilkumar Banerjee, who passed away recently, had served as the chairman of the AEC and BARC. So I'm going to tell you about AEC. Please write Atomic Energy Agency. Sorry, Atomic Energy Commission. Okay, Atomic Energy Commission. Underline that. First point. Governing body of the Department of Energy. The Department of Atomic Energy, governing body of the Department of Atomic Energy, governing body of the Department of Atomic Energy, comma, which is under the direct charge of the Prime Minister, which is under the direct charge of the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister. Next, established 1948. Second point, established 1948. Third point, head office Mumbai. Head office Mumbai. Fourth point, chairman Kailash Nath. I'll write it here. Neelkant Vyas. I went to the website of AEC to find all these things. Okay. Kailash Nath Neelkant Vyas. I do a lot of homework. See, if a teacher can work hard for a class, you who is preparing for, for the future, to build a future for, for herself, for himself, you should be a lot more hardworking. Okay, come on, we have got to work hard for our happiness. So he is a chairman. Next, comprises five research centers. Comprises 5 research centers. 5 research centers. Okay. Underline 5 research centers, and below that write A, point A. You write this: Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Mumbai. Bhabha Atomic Research Center, comma, Mumbai. Full stop. Second point. Second one, Indira Gandhi Center. Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research. Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research, comma, Kalpakkam. Tamil Nadu. Kalpakkam, Tamil Nadu. Third one, third center, variable, let me clear all this so that it becomes easy for you to look at. Variable energy cyclotron center, VECC, na? Kolkata. Variable Energy Cyclotron Center, Kolkata. The fourth one, third one. Fourth one, Rajaramanna Center for advanced technology, Indore. You know, Indore is in Madhya Pradesh. Fifth one, atomic energy, atomic minerals, sorry, atomic minerals directorate, atomic minerals directorate for exploration and research, my city Hyderabad. Atomic Minerals Directorate for Exploration and Research, Hyderabad. All five have come here. Nice. And those, if you do not greatly familiar with the name of Rajaramanna, you can say father of India's nuclear bomb. Father of India's nuclear bomb. He is usually considered the father of the Indian nuclear bomb. Not many people know this, but yeah, now you know. That's important. Whom of the following persons have recently been appointed director of the CBI for 2 years? Some questions will touch and go. Okay? Jaiswal. Sushilkumar Jaiswal. Rakesh Asthana, Director General of Border Security Force. Border Security Force. If I am not wrong, M.A. Ganapati is the Director General of the National Security Guards, NSG. Yeah. Enough. So Asthana, ex-CBI Director, remember that? He is the Director General of Border Security Force, and M.A. Ganapati is the Director General of National Security Guards. Okay. Name the Indian wrestler and Olympic medalist arrested by the Delhi police in connection with the murder of a 23-year-old former junior national wrestling champion named Sagar Dhankar. Sushilkumar. You know what's been happening there, yeah? I just want you to know something about Sushilkumar. They may ask which of the following is not true about Sushilkumar. So 2-3 things, okay? Right, 1. Winner of, simply put, right, Sushilkumar, bronze at 2008 Beijing Olympics Games. Bronze at 2008 Beijing Olympic Games. Silver at 2012 London Olympic Games. London Olympic Games. Last point. 2009. You don't have to write winner of and all that. 2009 Khel Ratna Award. Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award. Now it's called Khel Ratna Award. Enough here. Chalo. The International Day for Biological Diversity is observed on 22nd May. The theme for this year is we are part of the solution. May 22nd. Now, we in the recent past had taken a list of the important days in May. Now, what we will do in this session is, because we are in the beginning of the month of June, we will take the important days 3-4 in the first 8 days of this year, in this month. Okay, right, first 8 days or 10 days. June 1st, World Milk Day, Milk Doodh Divas. June 5th, say I don't include days like Father's Day, Mother's Day, all that stuff. I don't believe in all that stuff. Okay. Only day I believe in is Daughter's Day. So, June 5th is Environment Day. Environment Day. 7th World Food Safety Day. This is important. 8th June. 8th June. Sorry, 8th June. Oceans Day. Oceans Day. Oceans Day. Okay, chalo. Under the Science, Technology and Innovation track of BRICS 2021 calendar, which country hosted the 7th BRICS Astronomy Working Group in a virtual mode in May this year? India hosted this, and BRICS, you can write this BRIC term coined by Jim O'Neill. Jim O'Neill of Goldman Sachs or Goldman Sachs. The right pronunciation is Sachs. Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs. It's an American regular and investment bank. Okay. In his research paper in 2001, this guy, Jim O'Neill, had said that by 2050, these 4 countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, will contribute to 50% of global GDP. Well, see, this is prediction made in 2001. Who knows what life would be like, 30 years from today. Think about it now. We didn't know the pandemic. We don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. So these are all conjectures, and they are based on a lot of variables. Things will be stabilized and all that stuff, So not now. Some other time I'll tell you about variables. But yes, little about China. The capital and everything. The Prime Minister is Li Keqiang. Prime Minister Li Keqiang. Currency is renminbi, also called yuan. Renminbi, yuan. South Africa. President is Cyril Ramaphosa. The currency is rand. Okay. Today we are not going to discuss capitals. The 3 capitals of South Africa: Pretoria, Bloemfontein, and Cape Town. So Brazil, President is Jair Bolsonaro. And what's the capital? What is the currency? Real or real. You could also write world's 5th biggest by area. World's 5th biggest by area. World's 5th biggest by area. And 6th by population. And 6th by population. Russia. That's how we pronounce it. Rush and R. 2 sounds. Russia. The president. So I'm going to talk about the Prime Minister. Mikhail Mishustin. Mishustin. Currency is ruble. You can also write like this. Yeah. Next. One more thing. Russia, you could write world's largest producer of natural gas. World's largest producer of natural gas. It has the largest natural reserves in the world. Gas reserves in the world. A pan-India campaign called Young Warrior to engage young people across the country to address the ongoing COVID-19 crisis and to keep their families and their neighborhoods safe has been launched by all of them. So, I'll just tell you about this. Who is the Minister of Youth Affairs? Kiran Rijiju. Kiran Rijiju. Okay. Minister of Youth Affairs, and it should be Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. That's the full form. And Sports. This is independent charge. Independent charge. Then, and not only this ministry, he also holds another ministry. So you could also write MOS, Minister of State for Minority Affairs. Minority Affairs. Minister of State for Minority Affairs. Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Harshvardhan. Dr. Harshvardhan. Dr. Harshvardhan. Okay. Apart from this ministry, also Ministry of Earth Sciences. Earth Sciences plus another one. If it says Science and Technology, Science and Technology, Science and Technology. Chaliye. The Executive Director of United Nations Children's Fund, International Children's Emergency Fund, is Henrietta Fore. Of US. Head office in New York City. New York City. Next. Which nation has proposed a global minimum corporate tax rate of 15% on large multinational corporations that operate across borders? The United States. See, you could write this point. Why don't you write this? US is seeking. Okay. US is seeking to impose at least impose at least 21% corporate tax on profits of US companies that operate abroad, full stop. Next point. It is also seeking to raise R-A-I-S-E, raise, also seeking to raise the corporate tax on domestic companies, on US domestic companies from 21% to 28%. From the current 21% to 28%. Okay, so because everywhere in the world, to attract companies, countries are reducing tax rates. So this is actually leading to a loss of income for a lot of countries. Okay. So OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, these countries, OECD countries, which are 37, I think, they stand to lose about $240 billion in tax revenue because of these things. So lower tax rates is harming countries, and it is also pushing countries to borrow more money to fund their welfare programs and other programs. So the US government, currently led by Joseph Biden, who is from the Democratic Party, which is considered to be a center of left party. Okay, so it's saying that large companies make a lot of profit, and sometimes they shift their profits abroad, to attract lower taxes there. So it is not done. It is not happening. You earn profit here, you should pay tax here, not take it elsewhere. So that's what is happening. Let's see how it works out. These are all things beyond control. What is the quantum of surplus that the RBI will transfer to the central government for the accounting period of 9 months, ended 31st March 2021. I'm just looking at the graph. So look at this. The amount is fine. I'm not really concerned about that. But what is that? 9 months. July 2020 to March 2021. So you write here. This is very important from the exam point of view. Okay? Write this important point. The RBI has changed its financial year. The RBI has changed its fiscal year from the traditional July to June to April to March. Okay. So this year ends in 9 months. So this financial year is the last time that the RBI went with July to June. So from now on, it will be April to March, to align with the financial year of the government of India itself, basically. So that's how things are as of now. Okay. Whom of the following persons recently chaired the 74th World Health Assembly? Our Health Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan. Okay. Look at this. Director General of World Health Organization, WHO. Okay. He is from Ethiopia. Where is he from? Ethiopia. Oh, sorry. Ethiopia. Okay. Anil Soni, CEO, the WHO Foundation. The WHO Foundation. The WHO Foundation. Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, Chief Scientist, WHO. Chief Scientist, WHO. Okay. Chief Scientist, WHO. Next. Who is this Bukong Saiwong? You don't have to write. He is a health minister of a country called Laos. You look at India. Okay. This is India, Myanmar. Next is Myanmar. Uske paas Thailand. Then if you look at, I'll draw it. A little bad, but it's okay. Okay. This is not even important. I'm just drawing a rough idea. Okay, giving you a rough idea. This is Vietnam. This is Laos. It's a landlocked country. This is Cambodia, Thailand, Myanmar. Okay? Yeah, that's how it is. Laos is the only landlocked country in this part of the world. Vietnam has access to the sea. Cambodia has. Thailand has. Myanmar has. Only Laos, Upar China, pura China. All China. Okay? So, if you want to know about Laos, I can tell you about Laos as well. The capital is Vientiane. This is the capital, Vientiane. Okay. It's a communist country with a single party state. It's a single party state. Thongloun Sisulit is the president. Thongloun Sisulit is the president. Predominantly Buddhist country. And the currency here is, if I'm not wrong, Kip. I think I'm right about this. Kip. Was it? Kip. Okay. With which nation has India recently signed a 3-year work program for cooperation in agriculture? Israel. Israel is a defense and agriculture superpower. The fact that it's a very tiny country, I don't have a map now. This tiny country is surrounded by Arab nations on all the sides, Muslim nations on all the sides. On its west, of course, there is the Mediterranean Sea. And the fact that enemy countries, like back in those days, when it started, when the country began its journey in 1948, there was this Egypt. Okay, Egypt is on its west, southwest. So Egypt also has to the same maritime area that Israel has. Egypt was an enemy of Israel. So if Egypt would block the sea route and the other Arab countries would block the land route, food would not come into Israel. Food, essential stuff would not come into Israel. So, and the southern part of Israel is desert. So it's not a country that was sufficient or well versed in agricultural operations. Its area is about 20,770 square kilometers. Pretty small. 20,770 square kilometers. Less than 1% of India's area. Think about it now. This tiny country realized that its future lies, its salvation, its security lies in two major things. Defense and second, agriculture. So it focused on agriculture, improving agriculture technology, and that's why today it's considered to be an agriculture superpower, an agriculture and technology superpower. Of course, defense superpower it is. It's huge, my friends. Currently, negotiations are going on in Israel. We don't know who will be the next Prime Minister of Israel, but things are pretty bad in Israel in terms of government formation. Turkey, capital is Ankara. This is the capital. The president is Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Some people say the G is silent, Erdogan, which is okay. This guy is facing a lot of problems at home, a lot of corruption charges. He has favored his son-in-law, of course, and son also, which is true. But then he takes the issue of religion, and when you talk of religion, people forget everything, other things, isn't it? Turkey, the capital is Lira. I spend a lot of my time on foreign affairs. These countries around that. Iran, Tehran, Hassan Rouhani, currency, Riyal. Let's write the name of the spiritual leader. Ayatollah Khamenei. Iran is, as you know, a Shia republic, Shia country, the world's most populous Shia country. Then Iraq, Baghdad, Prime Minister is Mustafa Al-Qadimi. Al-Qadimi. The currency is dinar, Iraqi dinar. Iraqi dinar. I think about Egypt you know, but anyway, let me tell you. Capital is Cairo. Capital is Cairo. The president is Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. And the currency is pound, Egyptian pound. Egyptian pound. Okay, yeah. Couple of last questions. For which Pacific nation has Fiame Naomi Mataha recently been sworn in as its first female prime minister? Samoa. You see, this is Samoa. This is Samoa. Tiny country. The capital of this country is Apia. They will not ask you these things. Trust me. Okay. Normally they don't. They are way too small. These places are way too small for all, for you to know these things. But anyway, now that we are here, why don't we write? Very simple. Apia is the capital. You want to know the currency of Samoa? Tala. What is this? Tala. Then Tuvalu, very small country, just about 26 square kilometers. Funafuti. Funafuti is the capital, and the president is Tenuku Honolulu. Honolulu, it's a place it's the capital of the Hawaiian state in America. America's only island state, Hawaii state. Its capital is Honolulu, and this guy has this name, Tenuku Honolulu, and the currency is Tuvalu dollar. Tuvalu dollar. Solomon Islands. These are Solomon Islands. These are Solomon Islands. This is Tuvalu. So small that you can put a dot here and forget about it. Solomon Islands has nearly 10,000 small and big islands. Small, Solomon. Honiara is the capital. What is it? Honiara. And the president here is David Hunagi. Not president, prime minister, please. Prime minister. David Hunagi. Currency is dollar. New Zealand. Wellington. Wellington. Prime Minister is Jacinda Ardern. Jacinda Ardern. New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar is a currency. This is New Zealand. This is called North Island. Of course, this will be called South Island, isn't it? Okay, let's take one last thing. Fiji. This is Fiji. Capital is Suva. Suva. The Prime Minister is Frank Bainimarama. %37% of the country's population is of Indian origin. Bainimarama. Fijian dollar. Fijian dollar. Okay. One last question, yeah. Narendra Dhruv Batra has become the first Indian to be elected president of the Dash for a second consecutive term. Well, International Hockey Federation, that FIH is the French full form, so we will not discuss that. International Hockey Federation. Why don't you do one thing? Why don't you write the names of the heads of this? World Anti-Doping Agency, Witold Banka. And this guy is from, I'm not very sure, but Banka, yeah, Banka is a Polish name, so he's from Poland. See, this word Banka is a Polish name, you know. Only people of Poland have this name, Banka, Poland. World Badminton Federation, not exactly great thing to learn, but Paul Erik Larsen, and he is from, as you know, the name Larsen comes from Denmark. You can also write with an O, please know that. You can write with an A or O, but these guys write with an O, Paul. Okay, one last thing, ICC. Chairman, not CEO, Chairman, Greg Barkley. Okay, Greg Barkley. Chalo, one really last question. Okay, I know it's been 1.5 hours, so tough actually. Cheetah declared extinct in India in 1952. It's expected to be reintroduced in India from Africa in November this year at the Kuno National Park, which is in Madhya Pradesh. You have Bandhavgarh National Park, Kanha National Park in Madhya Pradesh. So we'll take one national park for each of these places. Okay. Karnataka, you can write Bandipur or Anshi. Rajasthan, plenty of national parks. Ranthambore National Park. You have the Keeladeo National Park, Desert National Park. One you write is Sariska. Odisha, you have Simlipal, but you can write Bhitar Kanika. So I'm giving you 2 or 3 everywhere, isn't it? Kerala, you have Silent Valley National Park, but you could also write Periyar. What is it? Periyar. So we'll end it here today. We'll continue from here. But I didn't find anything that I would have wanted to discuss more, like subsidy in the next session. But let's see how it works out. We may have something in the next session, set of questions that my colleague prepared. So thanks for being here. Stay safe, stay curious, have a lot of fun. Thank you.